Hello and welcome to Monza. I'm Jimmy Carr and we're watching Daniel Bourne start from P13. A position so far back, he's practically in a different postcode. Ha!
And listen to that, the roar of EAs and flat sexes echoes around the Temple of Speed. The grid comes alive, a symphony of pure, unadulterated, mechanical aggression. We're riding on board with Daniel Bourne now. He's weaving violently down the straight, desperately trying to inject some life and temperature into those cold, unforgiving Pirelli tyres before the lights go.
You'll spot Bourne in the red McLaren, not for its striking looks, but because he's apparently too cheap to buy any of the DLC liveries. It's the default skin, the equivalent of using Internet Explorer in 2024.
It's a 20-minute sprint race to the flag. There's no time for strategy, no time for tyre management. It's just pure, flat-out aggression from start to finish. Every corner, every braking zone is a battlefield. Drivers will need to be absolutely perfect, but more importantly, absolutely ruthless if they want to claim victory here today at Monza. It's lights out and away we go. The Monza sprint is underway.
And Bourne's start is, well, it's less racing driver, a more pensioner leaving the supermarket car park. He's already going backwards. He has the reaction time of a dial-up modem connecting to the internet.
They're 4 wide into the Rettifilo. This is where dreams are made and carbon fibre is. But Bourne is hanging back, trying to stay out of the inevitable turn 1 carnage. And there's the collision. Bourne evades. No, he doesn't. He's tagged the Porsche. Contact sends him spinning into the gravel trap. A disastrous start.
Well, he's back on the track, which is the good news. The bad news is he's now dead last, with a car full of gravel and the shattered remnants of his dignity. No major damage, apparently, apart from to his ego, which has just been panel beaten into a fine powder. He's so far back he'll need a sat nav to find the rest of the pack.
But he's fighting back already. A brave dive down the inside at the second chicane. The Variante della Roggia, he snatches the position back. A great opportunistic move from Daniel Bourne. He is not giving up.
Oh, look at that. He's just gone past Nycx's Ferrari. Nycx defended that corner with all the conviction of a vegan in a butcher's shop. It was less of an overtake, more of a gentle wafting past. Bourne is now up to P15, which is still terrible, but it's fractionally less terrible than P16. It's the kind of progress you celebrate by buying the slightly more expensive own brand biscuits from the supermarket.
And incredibly, despite that chaotic opening lap and the carnage at turn 1, every single car is still running. A testament to the driver's skill, or perhaps... And there's another collision. Bourne has driven right to the back of Shervett's Porsche. Déjà vu! It was avoiding action, a huge pile-up at the Ascari chicane, and they just had absolutely nowhere to go.
And somehow, through a combination of blind luck and using another car as a secondary braking system, Bourne has emerged in P12. He's climbing the order not through talent, but through attrition. It's like winning a staring contest because everyone else has blinked, or in this case, spun into a wall. His strategy appears to be wait for others to fail more spectacularly than I do.
And Shervett, the driver Bourne made contact with, is into the pits. He's serving a drive through penalty for a jump start.
Well, there you go. Bourne is promoted to P10. He gains another place without doing anything. He's climbing the leaderboard like a lazy civil servant gets a promotion.
And breathe. That is just 1 lap complete here at Monza. And what a lap it has been. We've had contact at the start, a spin for our protagonist, Daniel Bourne, a multi-car incident at Ascari. And drivers already serving penalties. Bourne started P13, dropped to the very back, and has somehow clawed his way through the chaos and carnage to find himself running in the top 10. This is what sprint racing is all about. Absolute mayhem from the moment the lights go out. You simply cannot take your eyes off this for a single second. What a spectacular start.
You know, David, we have to talk about the pre-race dinner. Bourne, who has the maturity of a toddler with a crayon, apparently laced his rival Bandi's tuna sandwich with ghost peppers and some herbal remedy from his grandmother. The goal, I'm told, was to induce a spot of mid-race intestinal distress. It's the kind of sophisticated psychological warfare you'd expect from a man who still thinks whoopee cushions are the height of comedy.
Back on track, the action doesn't stop. Daniel Bourne has his sights set on the Mercedes of Iversen just ahead. He's closing the gap through the Lesmos, the McLaren looking particularly strong through the medium speed corners. This is the battle for 9th place, and Bourne is absolutely on the charge now. He's having a look down the inside at Ascari. Oh, that's an ambitious move. He's never going to make that stick from that far back.
And no, it doesn't work. A move with all the grace and effectiveness of a dad trying to breakdance at a wedding. He's not only failed to pass Iversen, but now he's got Nycx's Ferrari filling his mirrors. He's the meat in a very fast, very expensive, and very angry-sounding sandwich right now.
He's not given up. He's looking to the outside of the Parabolica now, trying to get the cut back and a better run onto the main straight. And he's got it! A fantastic exit from the final corner. He's got the slipstream, he's got the momentum. The McLaren is reeling in the Mercedes hand over fist as they power down this legendary pit straight. This is going to be incredibly close as they thunder towards the braking zone for turn 1. It's 3 cars squabbling for one piece of tarmac into the Redifilo chicane. Iversen defends the inside line beautifully. Bourne is forced to go the long way around the outside.
And after all that huffing and puffing, they're in exactly the same order they started in. A huge amount of effort for absolutely zero reward, like trying to teach.
Bourne really needs to find a way past this Mercedes. Every moment he spends stuck behind Iversen, he's not only losing time to the cars ahead, but he's also under immense pressure from Nycx right behind. He's in a very precarious position and needs to be decisive now. And Iversen's made a mistake. He's run wide of the chicane. There's the opportunity. Bourne is...
And as Bourne finally gets past, there's a Porsche in the background pirouetting like a ballerina on ice. Beautiful chaos. Bourne is past Iversen, who defended his position with the structural integrity of a wet paper bag.
And that mistake has cost Iversen dearly. Nycx is all over the back of him now, looking to follow Bourne through. They're coming up to pass a stranded BMW that's pulled off to the side of the track. And yellow flags are waving in that sector. Nycx senses blood in the water. He's looking left, he's looking right. Iversen is defending for his life as they navigate the hazard. This is sensational. Wheel-to-wheel racing under pressure. What a fantastic battle this is turning into for 9th.
The problem with Bourne's prank, David, is that he saw Bandi share the sandwich with his teammate Nycx. So now he has no idea who has the ticking time bomb in their stomach. He's probably checking his mirrors not for slipstreams, but for sudden, violent explosions of Ferrari and regret. His erratic driving suddenly makes a lot more sense. He's a man wrestling with his creation.
And once again, it's the Mercedes of Iversen under immense pressure from the Ferrari of Nycx. Nycx gets a fantastic run out of Parabolica. He's got the slipstream, and he is closing rapidly as they blast down the main straight. This is his best chance yet to get the move done. Iversen needs to be perfect on the brakes. Iversen moves to the inside line. He's parking the car right on the apex, giving Nycx absolutely no room to work with. A classic piece of defensive driving under extreme pressure. But Nycx goes the long way around. A fantastic switchback. He gets on the power early and surges past the Mercedes. A brilliant, beautifully executed overtake from the Ferrari drive.
Oh dear, poor Iversen. He's just been passed, and now he has a Porsche driven by Knissel trying to park in his boot. His race is unravelling faster than a cheap Christmas jumper. He's gone from defending a position to being a mobile chicane in the space of about 30 seconds. He's got cars coming at him from all angles now. It's like watching a gazelle get separated from the herd. The circling predators are closing in, and they all seem to be German. He must be absolutely sick of the sight of Porsches.
Knissel has a massive run on Iversen out of the first Lesmo. He's right alongside as they head to Lesmo 2.
And then he backs out of it, all the commitment of a man asked to hold his girlfriend's handbag. A huge build-up for absolutely nothing. Very, very disappointing.
Meanwhile, Nycx, having cleared Iversen, is now trying to close the gap to Daniel Bourne. The gap is currently 2.2 seconds as they begin another lap.
And would you believe it? Bourne has been promoted to P8. I'm not sure what happened, but I assume someone ahead of him either had a catastrophic engine failure, ran out of fuel, or perhaps just got bored and drove home. He's climbing this leaderboard purely through the misfortune of others. It's like being the last one standing in a game of musical chairs because everyone else tripped over. He's not fast, he's just durable, like a cockroach. The mystery continues, David. Neither Nycx nor Bandi are showing any, let's call them symptoms. Bourne must be having a crisis. Was his grandmother's remedy just a dud? Or worse, did someone else get the sandwich? He must be having nightmares of a 60-year-old team principal mid. Interview, suddenly clutching his stomach and making a desperate, waddling dash for the nearest porter. Potty? The potential for collateral damage here is immense. It's corporate espionage via the medium of a poorly judged packed lunch. This is what motorsport is all about.
And look at this! The hunter becomes the hunted, or is it the other way around? Daniel Bourne is now closing in on Bandi, the very driver who was the target of his prank. The gap is under 3 seconds. We are now at the 10-minute mark, halfway through this chaotic sprint race at Monza. The action has been non-stop, and it shows no sign of letting up as these battles continue to rage throughout the entire field. But let's not forget the battle for P9. After getting past Iversen, Knissel has now caught the Ferrari of Nycx, and that Porsche is looking incredibly quick in a straight line. Knissel is all over the back of the Ferrari, applying immense pressure through every single corner. Nycx is having to be incredibly defensive, but you feel it's only a matter of time before the Porsche finds a way past. What a fantastic drive this is from Knissel. And Nycx just cannot shake him. The Porsche is glued to the Ferrari's gearbox as they head down towards the Ascari chicane. Side by side into the chicane, Knissel on the outside, Nycx holding the inside line. This is brave stuff from both drivers. And he makes it stick. A phenomenal move around the outside at Ascari. Knissel takes the position. What an overtake that was.
And now that they've stopped squabbling, they're closing in on Bourne, who's just 2.4 seconds up the road. The cavalry is coming, and they look significantly faster than him.
So this creates a fascinating scenario. We have a three-way battle developing for P7. Can Daniel Bourne close the gap and pass his rival Bandi before the charging Porsche of Knissel catches him from behind? It is a race against time for Bourne. He has to attack and defend simultaneously. This is where the pressure really starts to build on the shoulders of the young driver.
Well, David, I think we have our answer. Nycx looks absolutely fine, fighting wheel with Knissel like a man whose digestive system is in perfect working order. That can only mean one thing: Bandi got the full uncut, high-potency dose of grandmother's special herbs. Bourne is now closing in on him, which makes this less of a race and more of a nature documentary. We're watching a cheetah stalk a gazelle that is, at any moment, about to suffer a catastrophic volcanic intestinal failure. This isn't motorsport anymore, this is a public health crisis waiting to happen at 200 miles an hour. And I am here for it.
And the gap is tumbling. Bourne is now under 2 seconds behind Bandi. He can see him now. And Bandi's off. He's lost the rear of the Ferrari on the exit of the Roger chicane. A big mistake.
And just like that, another position falls into Bourne's lap. A free gift courtesy of a driver who is clearly distracted. Bourne is now P7. His entire race strategy seems to be a drive in a straight-ish line and wait for people to hand you positions like charity donations. At this rate, he might accidentally win the thing. Oh, but that's it. That's the first sign. That little twitch from Bandi coming out of the chicane. Was that just a mistake, or was it the first tremor from the epicenter of the tuna sandwich? The first sign that the demons are stirring. Bourne, who started this race in a disappointing P13, must be feeling the most wicked cocktail of emotions right now. There's the guilt of potentially ruining a man's race, the terror of what he's unleashed upon the world, and the glorious, undeniable vindication of a prank perfectly, catastrophically executed. He's like a villain in a Bond film, watching his evil plan unfold with a mixture of horror and delight.
Jimmy, have you ever seen anything like this? A race potentially being decided by tactical catering. Only at my last family Christmas, David. My aunt's turkey had a similar effect on my uncle. He didn't spin at chicane, but he did leave the table rather abruptly during the King's speech. And now the recovering Bandi is under pressure from Knissel. The Porsche pulls alongside on the run down to the first chicane. He's got the slipstream and he's going for it. And he makes the move stick. Knissel bullies his way through into P8. Bandi just didn't have an answer for that pace. And that puts Knissel right onto the tail of Daniel Bourne. The gap is just 1 second. After that, phenomenal charge through the field, making some incredible overtakes. The Porsche driver now has P7 firmly in his sights. Bourne has spent the last few minutes watching the drama unfold behind him, but now the drama is arriving on his doorstep, and it is driving a very, very fast Porsche. He is going to have to get his elbows out to keep this position.
And here's the problem for Bourne. He's being chased by Knissel, a man presumably powered by a sensible, non-weaponized lunch. Meanwhile, Bourne is completely distracted by the ticking biological time bomb that is Bandi in his mirrors. He's trying to race while also producing a disaster movie in his head. It's not a recipe for success, is it?
And Knissel is there. He is right on the gearbox of the McLaren. He's got the slipstream. He's looking probing for a way past. Bourne is having to go fully defensive now, placing his car perfectly in the middle of the track. They thread the needle through the Ascari chicane. Mere inches apart, the Porsche is quicker on entry, but Bourne gets a better exit. He just about holds on. This is absolutely mesmerizing stuff, and it's two drivers pushing to the absolute limit. Knissel is trying everything he can, but Bourne is positioning that McLaren perfectly, not giving him a single opening. This is a masterclass in defensive driving from Bourne under immense pressure. Now, this is the crucial part of the lap, the exit of Parabolica. If Knissel can stay close enough through this long, sweeping right-hander, he will get a massive tow down the pit straight. The Porsche has shown incredible straight-line speed all race. Bourne knows this. He has to be absolutely perfect on the exit to stand any chance of holding on to this position. Everything comes down to the next few seconds. A single mistake here will be punished severely. The tension is unbearable. And Bourne hangs on, a great defensive line into the first chicane, and he just about keeps the nose of the McLaren ahead of the Porsche. But for how long?
Knissel is so close he can probably read the chassis number on Bourne's car. He's not just in his mirrors, he's practically sitting in the passenger seat, judging his every move. It's like having your mother-in-law teach you to drive.
Knissel to the inside, he's sending it down the inside. Contact, there's contact. Bourne just turns in as if the Porsche weren't even there. A clumsy move. A huge slide from Knissel, but he holds on to it. A sensational save. Bourne continues on, seemingly unaware he's just hit another car. What is he doing?
And that's the distraction. He wasn't looking for Knissel, he was looking for Bandi. He was checking his mirrors for signs of a fiery explosion, not for a legitimate overtake. He didn't hit him with malice. David, he hit him with pure, unadulterated sandwich-induced panic. Oh, to be a fly on the wall listening to Nissel's radio right now. I imagine it's a stream of German words that you wouldn't find in a tourist's phrasebook. He'll be screaming blue murder, and all because Bourne is more concerned with the state of another man's bowels than the actual race he's supposed to be in. This is getting ridiculous.
And unbelievably, Knissel has recovered and he is right back on the tail of Daniel Bourne. He must be absolutely furious and he is determined to get this move done one way or another. This has become personal now. And he brake checks him. Bourne brake checks him into Parabolica. Knissel hits his rear and that sends Bourne running wide onto the escape road. A ludicrous piece. But he rejoins the track and they are side by side down the main straight. Drag racing towards turn one. Neither driver prepared to give an inch. This is unbelievable. What a spectacle.
It's a game of chicken at 180 miles an hour. Who's going to blink first? My money's on Bourne, who's clearly lost the plot entirely. He's driving like a man who's just remembered he left the Overnon.
And Bourne yields. He finally yields the position to Knissel. He brakes early, concedes the corner and lets the Porsche through. Perhaps a rare moment of sanity or maybe just sheer terror. But Knissel is finally passed.
Oh, Bourne is completely gone. His mind has left the building. He's not just battling Knissel, he's battling the ghost of a tuna sandwich. Every decision is clouded by the thought, did I ruin a man's career and quite possibly his race suit over a prank? And the answer, David, is an emphatic yes. He almost certainly did, and the guilt is causing him to drive with all the composure of a startled pheasant. He's completely rattled, and frankly, it's hilarious to watch.
With just a few minutes left on the clock, let's take a look at the leaderboard. It's a McLaren 1-2 at the front with Torgerson leading his teammate Brown. Then it's two Porsches, Verg in third, Krabowski in fourth. The two BMWs of Grego and Sleek are in fifth and sixth. And after all that drama, our battling duo, Knissel has climbed to seventh, with a very flustered Daniel Bourne now down in eighth position. And just behind them, the battle for the final points positions is still raging. Nycx and Bandi, two drivers with a very interesting shared history from last night's dinner, are rounding out the top 10. They are separated by just half a second as they cross the line to start another lap. This fight is far from over, believe me!
Oh, wait a minute. We're getting a radio transmission from Bandi's car. It's just screaming. The engineer is trying to talk to him, but he's just shouting. TAG farf, I squeeze him, goes the moors. Oh, I can't taste a class. Right. So, I think we can confirm the sandwich was significantly more potent than Bourne could ever possibly imagined. He's created a monster.
And despite that, Nycx is all over the back of Bandi on the main straight, looking to take ninth place away from him. Bandi moves to the inside, a very late defensive move. Nycx attempts the switchback. Bandi comes back across to cover the racing line. They're so close!
And Nycx backs out of it. And frankly, who can blame him? Trying to overtake Bandi right now is like trying to reason with a wasp. You don't know what it's going to do next, but you're fairly certain it's going to be sudden. Irrational and probably painful for you. A very wise decision.
But he hasn't given up. Nycx is right back on his tail through the second chicane. There is absolutely nothing to separate these two cars as they power towards the two Lesmo corners. This is a titanic struggle for ninth place, fought between two teammates who may have shared a rather dubious sandwich. A mistake from Bandi. He runs wide out of the chicane, touches the gravel. Nycx sees his chance and pounces. They're side by side into Lesmo 1 and they touch. They have made contact. And they are still side by side, leaning on each other, scraping through the corner. Incredible stuff. And they're banging doors again through Lesmo 2. This is brutal bare-knuckle racing between the two Ferraris. Unbelievably, they are still locked together as they exit the corner. I do not believe what I am seeing. How have they not crashed? This is absolutely on the edge. Bandi just gets his nose ahead as they scream towards the Donting Ascari chicane. This is getting dangerous now. And Nycx finally gives him the room, backing out of it just before the braking zone. Oh, Bandi's lost it! He's spinning, he is out of control. And that is a huge impact with the barrier on the outside. A terrible hit.
And his race is over. The sandwich has claimed its victim. He's finally at peace now, or possibly in the medical centre. One of the two.
Ahead of all that chaos, Daniel Bourne, the architect of this madness, is circulating comfortably in P8, blissfully unaware of the carnage he has directly caused behind him. He's got a clear track ahead.
That wasn't a racing incident. That was a full-blown hallucinogenic episode at 180 miles per hour. That had to be the sandwich finally taking hold. Bandi probably thought Nycx's car had turned into a giant, demonic wasp, and he was trying to swat it away with his own vehicle. That final unprompted spin into the wall. He likely saw the entry to Ascari not as a chicane, but as the shimmering gates to Valhalla, and simply aimed for it. The Bourne didn't just prank a rival, he has created a legend, a cautionary tale they'll tell young drivers for years to come.
We are into the final laps of this absolutely extraordinary race. After that huge incident involving Bandi, the field has settled down somewhat. The safety car is not deployed as the car is in a safe place. The leaders are cruising home, but for our protagonist Daniel Bourne, it's about bringing the car home in P8 and salvaging some valuable points from what has been a truly roller coaster afternoon for him. So it looks like it will be P8 for Daniel Bourne. After starting P13, being last on lap 1 and being involved in more incidents than we can count, bringing it home in the points is a remarkable result. Some crucial points for himself and for the McLaren Team Championship.
If you've enjoyed this utter shambles, please subscribe. This commentary is a work in progress, much like Bourne's moral compass. If you have suggestions for who or what we should torment next, leave them in the comments below. We might even listen, but probably not.
And Daniel Bourne navigates the Ascari chicane for the final time, the scene of so much drama earlier in this race. He clips the apexes perfectly. The McLaren looking stable as he accelerates out towards the back straight. He's had a chaotic race, a controversial race, but he has survived the Monza cauldron. He just has one more corner to go, the famous Parabolica, and he can bring this car home for a hard-earned 8th place finish. And across the line, Daniel Bourne finishes in P8, Knissel ahead of him in P7, and Nycx dropped back behind Gutierrez in the Ford at the very end.
Well, that's all from us. A race decided by skill, bravery, and a tuna sandwich laced with what I can only assume were weapons grade hallucinogens.